Hello, welcome back to Informal Training Solutions. Today I'll be discussing briefly drugs which are used in heart failure. Which are those drugs which are used in heart failure? Heart failure doesn't mean that the heart has stopped working, but heart failure is a condition in which the heart is unable to maintain an adequate saturation of blood as required by the body tissues, or an oxygen supply as required by the body tissues. Now, it's mainly due to ventricular hypertrophy or increased systemic vascular resistance, or we're having sympathetic nerves. The sympathetic system can also affect it. The problem with the renin-angiotensin system, or increased ADH. Now, of course, heart failure comes in due to uncontrolled cardiac diseases. This is like the end stage of the cardiac diseases. Now, which are those drugs which are used in cardiac, which are used in heart failure? We're having the cardiac glycosides. For this one, they inhibit the sodium potassium ATPase, which cause an increase in intercellular sodium concentration. Of course, this inhibits the extrusion of calcium ions via this sodium calcium exchanger, and of course this one leads to an increase in intercellular calcium, which binds to troponin C, hence increasing the contractility. Now, the best way you can summarize it by saying they inhibit the sodium potassium ATPase exchanger, or the enzyme, which causes an increase of sodium, which causes an increase of calcium ions via the sodium calcium exchanger, hence increasing calcium concentration within the heart, thus which binds troponin C, increasing the contractility. Now, I'm sure you can have another one, but it's all about inhibiting the sodium potassium ATPase. Now, which are those drugs which are used? Digoxin and digitoxin, but the common one is digoxin, which has a very narrow therapeutic window. The side effects, of course, we know that hypokalemia predisposes the side effects with digoxin toxicity, such as cardiac arrhythmias and GIT distress. Now, the others we have the positive, the other we have phosphodiesterase inhibitors. They cause inhibition of CMP degradation by the phosphodiesterase enzyme and activates the CMPK pathway. Now, remember the mechanism of action. It has been explained clearly in pharmacodynamics. So I'm sure you can just follow. Now, the can just say that they inhibit the CMP degradation by phosphodiesterase enzyme, and of course this results in higher calcium concentrations, thereby increased force of contraction. We have those drugs, the milrinone and the exonimone. Now, we can also reduce the fluid overload, because fluid may be too much. You can have the loop diuretics, because I've talked about loop diuretics. They inhibit the sodium potassium chloride symporter. These ones are used in conjunction with thiazide, at the same time the potassium sparing diuretics, because we have said that hypokalemia will predispose to digoxin toxicity. So it is important at least we prevent potassium loss. Now, the others can also have neuronal modulation. We can have SCE inhibitors. Can also be used in heart failure. Sorry. Of course, this one, we know they block the angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2. This is a potent vasoconstrictor. Captopril and lapril may be used. In case these ones are, because we know the side effects of these ones, I'm sure you can get them. We can have the angiotensin receptor antagonist, the selective 1 antagonist. Of course, candesatan, valsartan. These ones, of course, we know they block the effects of angiotensin 2. And again, the beta hydrogenic antagonists, they inhibit the sympathetic effect of the CVS by acting on the beta 1 receptors within the heart. Bisoprolol, metoprolol, nebivolol, these ones are common. However, also carvedilol, which is also used. Carvedilol, of course, we know carvedilol has both beta and alpha effects because of their vasodilation effects. The betamine, which is a beta adrenergic agonist, is also used. Nitroglycerins, all the vasodilators can also be used. Epinephrine. Now, epinephrine and norepinephrine, because these ones we know they are non-selective, and these ones are used only in emergencies. This has been a short presentation on heart failure, the drugs which are used in heart failure. Ensure at least you can, you know the, let me first go back, you know the cardiac glycoside, the mechanism of action, the examples, the side effects, the phosphodiesterase inhibitors. Thank you very much. I always remain Wilson from M Pharma Training Solution. Subscribe to the channel, contact us, shall always reply. In case of leave a comment on how you can improve. Thank you very much.